Hello, everyone, and welcome to our webinar today. Today, it's about startup ecosystem demo, ecosystem data dashboard, ecosystem mapping, and ecosystem AI advisor. I'm Oscar Ramirez, CEO of the CEO and co-founder of DigiOle, and together with me, it's Valto Loikanen. And today, we are exploring Ecosystem 180 and the started package of Ecosystem OS to kickstart the process to optimize entrepreneurship journeys. We have a short and concise agenda for today, which will mainly go around the demo of our solution. We will start providing some context related to the demo. Then we will move straight to the demo, and we will showcase the key features, and we will emphasize on the security and customization aspects of the solution. And then we will finalize the session with questions with any of you and some final words to basically to summarize the whole session. So without further ado, let's then get started by providing some initial context for the demo. First of all, it's important to know that for this particular session today, everything that we will be explaining and sharing here is targeted to the context of startup ecosystems, and basically for those who are familiar or are operating in this context, specifically if you have the responsibility to create better economic conditions by producing more entrepreneurs and more innovative companies. The main goal that everyone has with that responsibility is to make the life easier for entrepreneurs and startups so they can succeed by getting access to the resources that they need at the time when they really need them. So making this life easier for entrepreneurs and startups is quite challenging because startup ecosystems by nature are quite fragmented. Ecosystems are operated or coordinated still very, very manually, and any data collection process to get clear understanding and make effective decisions to support entrepreneurs and startups, I would say is quite chaotic and challenging. And that's why another way to operate a startup ecosystem has to exist, a way that uses technology smartly and uses data as the key asset to objectively and accurately understand your ecosystem and therefore start the process of optimizing entrepreneurs' journeys. And that's why Ecosystem OS exists, to basically to bring a digital and data-driven solution to orchestrate your startup ecosystem so that you can basically optimize the entrepreneur journeys and make entrepreneurs and startup succeed. From a technical perspective, this is what Ecosystem OS looks like. So we are orchestrating all these elements into seamless and attractive offering, so you can start the journey in your startup ecosystem at your convenience and pace. And Ecosystem 180 is the plan inside the Ecosystem OS offering to basically to start this journey. At this point, I will pass over to you, Valto, so you can continue with the key features of Ecosystem 180 and take all our participants to the demo.
Right. Thanks, everyone, and from my side as well, and welcome to our webinar. And let me also share from my side. So first, as a starting point, we want to start by looking at these key applications that we have as part of the ecosystem OS. So when we look at the ecosystem OS, the key aspect of that is the interoperability between the different applications that can be connected to this broader system, where, as shown on the previous image, it's a centralized system for ecosystems to have data and knowledge aggregated in single backend or single data repository and knowledge base, and then having different windows through the lens of different applications that are geared for different types of users within the ecosystem. And as part of the Ecosystem 180 plan, which is the starting plan of the Ecosystem OS, or recommended starting plan, basically we have these three key applications that we're going to go through in the demo next. So on one hand, we have the Ecosystem Advisor AI, which is basically a 24/7 digital interface, a chat window to interact with the trusted and accurate ecosystem information and knowledge. So basically, it's a convenient way of gathering all of the key information from the ecosystem, about the ecosystem, to provide the knowledge for questions that any ecosystem actors would have in the ecosystem in a convenient way. The next application is Skyview. And the key role of the Skyview is basically to showcase comprehensive insights of the ecosystem actors' needs and beyond. So I think most of you are familiar with things like Google Analytics for websites, so that you can see information about the insights of the website visitors and how they use it. Skyview is something that goes beyond and is catering specifically for the insights and information that is relevant in the context of startup ecosystems. And specifically when connected with Ecosystem Advisor AI, it will provide information and insights about the interactions that are happening with the knowledge retrieval conversations with the AI. And the final key application in the 180 plan is Orchestra, which is basically a separate interface application as part of this overall interoperable architecture to enable admin-like features, meaning the functionalities to provide the information and knowledge and data that the ecosystem advisor is interacting based on. So typically this information includes information about the local support services, their targets and functions, the types of services they provide, who are those available, where are those available, when those are available, and so forth. And in addition, also having knowledge information that is, for example, for startups to ask questions about how do I do this or that as a context of building their companies. So as a next steps, I will move forward to showing a demo of each of these applications or a quick overview, and then we'll get back and look more in detail of the actual functionalities a bit more in detail. So let me show. Stop sharing. All right. So first here we have the application that is in our branded application called Wisdom. And Wisdom is basically that ecosystem advisor AI that at this phase initially for this demo specifically is provided with our Growth Academy content, which is the ecosystem startup entrepreneurship curriculum for building startups, and basically covering multiple modules. In addition, it has as a background, it has ecosystem development academy knowledge that is geared for ecosystem operators and ecosystem developers, and a curriculum about key aspects of knowledge that is relevant for ecosystem development. So for the local ecosystem implementation, this application can be fully branded and customized from the look and feel, the name, the domains, and so forth, to interact, to be implemented in the local context. So here, for example, I could ask questions like how to look for co-founder to a startup. So this is just a simple example of retrieving information from the knowledge base of Growth Academy. And the key aspect here is that the knowledge that is used behind is not something that comes from a random source, but it comes from the actual knowledge that is provided by the Growth Academy and the content given for this application. We can see here that we get some information about the quality of the answer. Also, the user could give feedback about the reply by simple thumbs up, thumbs down, or giving an additional comment. Then if I would ask something like, where do I register my company? So here we can see that because this is provided with the global knowledge, it may not be able to answer specifically because this would require having knowledge provided in the local context where this ecosystem would be existing. So this gives a general answer, but if I would say more specifically to register company in Helsinki, for example, in this case, it still would not be able to answer that question. And here, the key aspect of the ecosystem OS repository is that to be able to provide this knowledge, one would have to go and provide this knowledge for the AI. And after that, it is able to answer that. How to look for investor. So those that are familiar with using ChatGPT, for example, and similar, the main key difference here to understand is twofold. On when using ChatGPT, it can give good answers, obviously, to many questions, and it can be used in many ways. But basically, the challenge or problem with that is that it can hallucinate, and it can also provide misleading information, and there's no way of curating in the local context that the information is correct and checked for the accuracy or quality of that information. So that leads to the next phase, which is basically looking at updating the information. So basically here, I could already go and upload some simple information. For example, I could put here Helsinki and to register a company in Helsinki, you should visit. As an example, I could also upload additional files, and basically after submitting this information, the Wisdom should be able to answer that question. And of course, that content could be as long and elaborative as needed. And it would use that knowledge to answer the question, not in the same words, but specifically with the correct meaning of the facts behind that information. So when we continue looking at the Orchestra application, that is basically used to update the information of the knowledge in the Ecosystem Advisor AI. Basically, this application is geared for those who are in the admin role or operative role of maintaining the information about the ecosystem. So those can be those who map the services, maintain the information about the services, and so forth. And the Orchestra app basically serves two purposes. On one hand, you can start an ecosystem map for your ecosystem, and basically by default you can get this type of canvas view, empty canvas, where you can position the startup support services available in the ecosystem. So here one can add new service and basically define the startup development phase from where that service is available from, and to how long of the startup journey that service is relevant for. And basically, once having provided those services, we can see the mapping in a simple way of different services catering for different development phases of the startup. And by each of these, there's more information behind each of the service about who is it for, the service description, and so forth. Another key aspect of the Orchestra is that knowledge base management. So as shown earlier in the application for feedback that users would use the advisor to get insights and information about the ecosystem. And basically there, if the knowledge doesn't exist in the knowledge base, it can give an answer that the specific knowledge is not available, or if there's low confidence answer, meaning that there's some information, but it's not necessarily having all the details that would be relevant for the question. Those would go in the different category. And also if there's thumbs down answers, basically meaning that the answers are not good considering from the user's perspective for those questions. From there, it's possible to then provide specific answers to those questions and provide knowledge, like shown also in the actual application demo. And one easy way to also consider providing this information is simply to record an audio that basically answers this question, or add files, or even use ChatGPT to generate an answer, and then make sure to correct that for the local context of relevancy, and then submitting that information for the knowledge base. So this is a quick view of how the users can interact with the knowledge available and information available of the ecosystem support services and other knowledge, and how to maintain that information. So next, we'll move into the Sky view, which is basically then the insights dashboard to the interactions that are happening with the Wisdom application or Ecosystem AI. specific for the purpose of providing ecosystem knowledge for ecosystem actors. So this gives an idea of the types of insights that we can get. So basically, simple volume of actual chat sessions, total questions asked by users, and also the average length of the conversations, and then the general feedback of the responses. When we look more deeper, actually the key aspect of the Wisdom as a whole, as an application behind the Ecosystem Advisor AI, is that we can also use the AI to analyze the types of questions that are being asked, and then those can be further categorized for specific types of needs that are emerging from the ecosystem actors. So basically, this is the first time that it's possible to actually get real live insights about the interactions of the questions and the needs of the actors within the ecosystem with high level of accuracy. In addition to the types of needs, we can also view those in more technical aspect. For example, is further information needed from elsewhere? Would that question require some kind of analysis or benchmarking data from elsewhere to be answered properly? Are there multiple queries or analysis needed, and so forth? And these types of information will give insights to also how to improve the quality of the answers for those who ask the questions, because not all questions can be answered by simply having existing information available. Some of those would require having more dynamic and up-to-date databases or data sources available, for example, benchmarking or other analysis of the data. So with this type of approach, we can get insights on the types of questions and answers as well. Then naturally, it's logical to have locations, so we can see the usage coverage area and the concentration, for example, questions coming from specific regions of the city or specific regions of the country, and so forth. And next segment is to also identify the types of user roles that are asking those questions. So this also gives an insight of which type of user roles are interacting with the service the most. And of course, we can also cross-match these with the needs. And that way we can see the types of needs that individual user types are specifically asking. And of course, we can further go, for example, what type of users from what type of area of the country are asking what types of questions. We have things like activity over time for conversations, feedback, and so forth. And of course, we can also have individual questions and answers to look into detail, specifically in the case when if the feedback of the answer quality is low. And these can be made in detail level or aggregated level, meaning that a type of question level instead of a specific actual question. And then further analysis of the feedback and so forth. We can also look at take deeper dive of total queries by different actors, domain-specific needs, and so forth. So the main point of this is really to give the proper insight of the usage of these three applications when combined, starting from the actual interactions that can be simply put out as a ecosystem resource for all questions and knowledge available about the ecosystem for the ecosystem actors. The system to maintain that knowledge and information about the support services, and then finally connecting with the insights that can be gathered from these interactions. So basically, this gives the baseline and the starting point for implementing Ecosystem OS from 3 purpose-specific applications for a very simple starting point that can act then as a foundation for further ecosystem development. So for now, I will get back to going through the summary of these applications. And then we can also take questions at the end for anything that you may have questions about. And we can always come back if needed to those demos as well. So basically, as a recap, the Wisdom is the application for Ecosystem Advisor AI to interact with trusted ecosystem information and knowledge. So the primary users for this is new entrepreneurial talent and founders, because they are the ones navigating the ecosystem the most. So trying to find help, knowledge, support, questions, services, and so forth to help navigate the ecosystem. So basically the simplest way to do that would be to go into your localized version of the Ecosystem Advisor and ask questions there and get answers based on the knowledge made available. Another key category is support organization personnel, specifically when they are looking to give guidance about the ecosystem as part of their advisory, or if they also want to seek for what type of knowledge is available for the entrepreneurs. But basically, it can be used by any ecosystem actors from any role. Also, since having the knowledge from the ecosystem development, also for the ecosystem development related questions. As the initial version that comes with 180, it actually has the knowledge already provided. So as mentioned, the Growth Academy and Ecosystem Development Academy as globally curated and validated knowledge that that then can be further expanded with local knowledge and local details, so that it starts with the baseline of knowledge that is already useful, and that then will trigger that cycle of getting questions that are not being answered properly to help feed the work to improve the knowledge that the system is not responding for or replying for. So the trusted local information and knowledge can be added via Orchestra app. And of course, the application can be named and branded to local context. So the Growth Academy mentioned as the base knowledge is basically the content that we have created over decades and have also been used as our capacity building when we're doing ecosystem development consulting in different ecosystems around the world. It's created as an open source resource, and it's globally validated by multiple peer contributions as well. Some statistical numbers about the content itself. And the Ecosystem Academy also, just to give context of the type of knowledge behind. So don't need to dive more into that. now, but just giving as a context. And Skyview is comprehensive insights of the ecosystem actors' needs and beyond. And this really the primary users for this application as a window to Ecosystem OS is the economic development leadership. So this is typically the city or country economic development unit. And of course, ecosystem developers, ecosystem operators, those who are specifically working to improve the conditions of the local startup ecosystem. The key aspect is to be able to capture the factual needs of the ecosystem, so not something that comes as indirect or biased information through different indirect channels or separate research projects that may already give different information depending on how questions are asked and who are doing those research. So these are the collecting actual factual data of the specific needs and questions asked. In addition to getting basic usage statistics, volume, quality, location, quality rankings, feedback analysis, as well as recommendations or suggested actions based on the insights gathered. And finally, the Orchestra app, that is the part to map, maintain, and manage the ecosystem information and knowledge that is used for ecosystem advisor AI as the information base. The primary users for this are those whose responsibility is to collect the information about the ecosystem, about the available services, about the available events, knowledge, and so forth, where this information at the first level is something that can be fed through these types of admin interface, but of course more further on and specifically on the next levels of our plans after 180, also through automation and through APIs from existing systems that may already have that information. Primary is to host the services mapping information and then the knowledge that AI is using to answer the questions of the ecosystem actors. And then the final piece in the mix is the actual data repository. So this is the invisible part of the solution, the backend, the data repository, and the knowledge base that all of these applications are interconnecting, and the place that is hosting the information in this plan. So when we look at the data repository, the role of that in the ecosystem OS, that's basically the data storage for all the shared data, where the key aspect is including different ways to take data starting from manual inputs and then going more to automated inputs from different systems and services, where that information and data is processed in different ways depending on the type of data to make it based on standard data structures, to make it reusable for different applications through application APIs, as well as making that knowledge trusted to provide the proper answers to the questions being asked. So the information always needs to be curated or processed in some way, but that way can also be connecting it to a trusted source that already has trusted information through an API. But there always needs to be some kind of process that guarantees that the answers, the information that is used for the answers comes from a trusted place or is coming from a trusted process. After that, the data is available for reusage, resharing, also for all kinds of different applications, the statistics, visualizations, and further developments. So the key aspect from here is basically just to share in the ecosystem 180. We start with the shared global repository in our plan, and that plan doesn't have the APIs. And the key for this is to keep the starting point as low as possible, cost-wise and effort-wise, to be able to initiate the foundation for the service. And then with the next plan, there's always an upgrade opportunity to getting a dedicated local repository that connects with global repository, meaning that that repository is fully in local control, and therefore it can be expanded with additional connections and APIs locally to local applications and so forth. But the connection with the global API means also that it's possible to benefit from the global information for benchmarking, as well as sharing information about local services or activities, whatever is relevant, through a more global audience as well. So that's basically the recap of the overall setup and demo. And yeah, I think we can. Final piece to take into account is the security and customization. So here again, connecting with these two different plans just to show the differences, but also from the aspect of privacy and security. The 180 plan basically has the basic visual style customization. So getting your own ecosystem branding and naming and domains and colors in use, using shared global data repository based on open standard data models, and then not having the APIs or custom applications beyond these three applications and their customization. And then we as Digi-OLE take the operations responsibility of this application overall. The security aspect here is also that the users are not individually identified, basically meaning that there is no registration or login for the Ecosystem Advisor AI. Of course, there are logins for the maintaining the knowledge and user management for providing the knowledge and for the data insights, but the actual users who are asking the questions are not identified. So basically, in that sense, we are not managing personal information or personally identifiable information as such. And that also makes it lower risk to implementation and also enables lower cost of starting the system. And then in the Ecosystem 360, we enable the custom and private data models via APIs and have a dedicated data repository for local context, meaning that all the local information is separated from the global database. And therefore, we can also enable identified users and develop more individualized and individual level services from 360 forward. But of course, with this, the separation is to create this as simple and low level starting point as possible. All right, so that concludes the demo and key features section, and I think we can move to the Q&A.
All right, Valto, thank you. We can check also here on LinkedIn page where we are doing the streaming of this webinar if we are getting any questions from the participants from the audience. So far we don't have anything, Of course, we hosted 2 days ago one specific session to clarify any concept related to ecosystem 180. That session was recorded and basically can be also shared with our audience afterwards in case that more questions are coming later on. But it seems that we don't have any specific question from the audience. Balto, do you want to mention anything before moving forward to the closing remarks of the session?
No, I think we have, as you mentioned, we have a good coverage of the questions that we collected already earlier. We wanted to make sure there's enough room to also answer the questions that we were getting because we had limited time allocated for this event. So we made a separate session from that, and we can also host those separately. So yeah, I think we can move forward on the agenda then.
All right, so then let's conclude basically let's see if it is uploading the. Yes, let's conclude the session then with some closing remarks. So thank you everyone for staying with us through this insightful journey into ecosystem 180. As we have seen today, this started package is not just about integrating applications only. It's about, I would say, transforming the way your startup ecosystem operates with features like the Ecosystem Advisor AI, SkyView app, and Orchestra app, and connected to the EOS data repository. So basically, Ecosystem 180 is your gateway to an efficient, interconnected startup ecosystem. Then in the demo today, we highlighted how Ecosystem 180 addresses the core needs of current and future startup ecosystems, simplifying complex data management, enhancing operational efficiency, and also providing scalable solutions for your ecosystem to grow. Also, choosing Ecosystem 180 means opting for a solution that is secure. It's compliant with global standards like the GDPR and customizable to your brand's unique ecosystem identity. It's an affordable, comprehensive package, basically designed for those ecosystems ready to basically to embark on a successful digital transformation journey for ecosystem development. And definitely in a market or in a space where there is a strong global competition, which means like all the cities, all the countries are doing great efforts to attract talents, to attract investments, to attract all kind of best practices and embracing innovation in general. So definitely Ecosystem 180 offers you that competitive advantage to ensure your city and your country is not just keeping up, but also leading the way in developing startup ecosystems globally. So basically take the next step in your ecosystem's growth. So subscribe to Ecosystem 180 today and join to a community of forward-thinking ecosystems. Visit our website, ecosystemos.com, where basically our team is ready to assist you with any queries that you may have. and to help you get started on this transformative journey of your startup ecosystem. Also, we, as mentioned, also Balto in the demo, we have other plans that you may find relevant in case that your ecosystem digital maturity skills or your needs are more advanced. So just take a look at the different options that we have. That's it. That's all from my side. Thank you once again, everyone, for participating in this event and for your interest in ecosystem OS and the different plans that we have. Again, for further information or to schedule a one-on-one consultation with us, please reach out to us. Here you have the details of our website, and then we will continue the conversation as needed. Thanks again, and have a nice day. Bye.